Wow, do the Mavericks look a bit insane? They've officially traded Anthony Davis. And, basically with him and D'Angelo Russell and other, pieces to the Washington Wizards for Chris Middleton, a numerous, first round picks, a couple players like, Marvin Bagley and AJ Johnson. But at the end of the day, it actually makes them look ridiculous because they've officially traded Luka Dončić for Chris Middleton and Marvin Bagley. What in tarnation? What in tarnation? This makes, the Mavericks organization look absolutely ridiculous. And if they wouldn't have miraculously gotten the first overall pick last NBA draft and got Cooper Flagg, this franchise would be in the dumps. But them getting Cooper Flagg really saved them. And in my opinion, makes them look even worse. Because if the Mavericks would have played their cards right, I think they really could have had a Kyrie Luka backcourt with Cooper Flagg in the mix. Obviously they had Gafford and Lively at the time. They signed Klay Thompson. This team really could have been insane. But instead, you had Nico Harrison really meddle into this and absolutely ruin the Dallas Mavericks, possibilities of bringing a dynasty. Because imagine having Kyrie Irving as your point guard with Luka Dončić and Cooper Flagg. Luka and Cooper Flagg will be top 5 players in the NBA at one point at the same time. And you could have had them on your team if it wasn't for Nico Harrison. This trade is so bad that ever since Anthony Davis got traded to the Mavericks, he's only played 29 games. Meanwhile, Luka Dončić has 29 games this season, not including last season, just this season, with 30 plus points. 30 plus points. Wow, Nico. The fact that you called them overweight and overrated, man, oh man. Luka Dončić took that personally, and he's really going to be trying to win a championship with the Lakers, which I believe he has a strong chance of doing because the Lakers are always somehow in the mix, and they got blessed with the Luka Dončić trade. So this is just making him look worse and worse and worse, and then he eventually gets fired. And honestly, if anybody should get blackballed in the NBA, it's going to be Nico Harrison, because that was a ridiculous move, an absolute insane one, because he somehow... it's been managed that the Mavericks, turned Jalen Brunson and Luka Dončić, right? Who Jalen Brunson has had tons of success with the New York Knicks, got drafted by the Mavericks, leaves the Mavericks for the Knicks, and then Luka Dončić got traded to the Lakers, right? To 2 big-time markets. So now they're both the faces of 2 big-time markets for Marvin Bagley and Chris Middleton after his prime. Wow. Talk about poorly ran organization, man, because they potentially, like I said, could have had an insane lineup of Lively and Gafford running center, both of them. Forwards-wise, Klay Thompson and Cooper Flagg, and then you bring in some other guys. And then guard-wise, Kyrie Irving and Luka Dončić. But instead, the Dallas Mavericks blew it all up. They even had Jalen Brunson at one point. And you guys just fumbled the bag. You got blessed with Cooper Flagg. Hopefully you don't end up ruining him or trading him. Not ruining, trading him. Because that guy has superstar potential, right? And so did Luka, so did Brunson. And they're not on the team no more. And they're still in their primes. So you have to wonder, will Cooper Flagg be 30 years of age and, with the Mavericks? Or will he be traded to another big-time market? Will he be traded to, let's say the Heat? That's a big-time market down in Miami. Where will Cooper Flagg end up being? Because it clearly looks like it won't be with the Dallas Mavericks, considering Brunson and Luka look like superstars, and they still got traded.